Hey, pretty people, this is Mad Laughter, and I'm your host, Sean Hatfield. Today on the program, we have comedian Jacob Yarbrough. Jacob's an interesting guy. I got to spend a week on the road with him this summer, running around, just performing and promoting shows, and have to say I had some fun. If you say anything about the man, he's a hell of a storyteller. And funny, which is always a good thing to have in a comic. This one's just for funsies. We don't really dig down too deep on any one topic, and the few times that we do start leaning close to political and social issues, we really just kind of prove the basic and simplistic nature of our own opinions. I'm recording this at 6 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, October 3rd. I feel this urge to say something about the events that have just taken place, but I'll leave that for the outro. You can find Jacob online at Jake Yarbrough on Facebook and Funky Jake on Twitter. You can find future episodes of the podcast at shoutengine.com/Mad Laughter, as well as on iTunes and Google Play. And you can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Hatfield Standup. This one gets a little dirty and raunchy. Not gonna lie to you. At some point in there, we have a very interesting and compelling tale about a gangbang. And then at some point after that, we follow up with something about the NFL and taking a knee during the national anthem. And anyway, I'm just saying we're all over the map here, so it is what it is. Only true thing that can be said about this existence, my friends. So strap in, have fun, try not to take anything too seriously or for granted. Enjoy. So, hangover, you say?
Yes. I got a massive hangover today. I went to Zombies and had some drinks, closed my tab, then reopened my tab, had a couple more drinks, then closed my tab, and then the owner gave me a ride home.
Sounds like you spent enough money for it.
Well, I mean, it was $2 Ziegenbock, so it wasn't too expensive.
Ziegenbach's good stuff. I still contend, even though I know it's a ripoff of Shinerbach, I know it was Budweiser just trying to go, let's fucking steal your market.
I know, right? But no, it was just kind of like, oh, you got $2 Ziegenbock pints? Yeah, let's do that.
Oh,
Yes.
pints?
Yeah.
$2 pints.
$2 pint.
These sound like my kind of people.
Oh, yeah, Steve's amazing. Shout out to Steve, owner of Zombies. Yeah, that's where we do Brain Dead. It's awesome. I love that bar. It's right across the street from said house where we're recording.
Right on. You were saying that the last time we were talking, and I was looking at Google Maps, and I'm going, there's no... Actually, when I pulled up here the first time, I was like, there's nothing near here. And okay, so it's just like over the little ridge over there.
Yeah. You know, like, because it does that little bend turn, and then, like, there's, like, that shopping center to the left, and that's where Zombies is. It's right next to a barber shop and the Vertical Church.
You're going to have to explain that one.
Is it vertical or horizon? Horizontal church. Some shit like that. Whatever up and down means, which makes it kind of weird because it's like, oh, so you can either go up to heaven or down to hell. Like, that's still an option in that church, you know, where it's just like, oh, well, I came to this church to go to hell. That was my choice, you know.
I get it. That's where you have the BDSM dungeon in the basement and the covenant on the not Covent. That's it. That's the witches. What are it? Nunnery. Whatever the hell it is. Convent.
Yeah,
Convent,
there we go.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah. So.
And then somewhere in the middle, you have the weird monks making beer.
And I've never seen anyone enter that church. That's the thing. I mean, I've seen one dude leave the church, but he was literally locking up at the same time, and it was like noon. So I was just like, okay, so I think that might be a front for a church, you know?
Hey, man, you're talking about a tax-free business. Why not?
I know, right? Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I like this area of town. It's one of my favorite areas of town. So, but yeah. So this is said Casa, man. Like, I don't know what you want to talk about. Like, you're the host.
I don't know, man. How are your successes and failures lately? How's your ratio?
Oh God, man. Failures high, successes almost non-existent. But that's life, right? Like that's you got to roll with the punches.
See, you're getting into the theme of the podcast. It's the cosmic joke, my friend. Look at all this. Look at the plentiful resources and availability of. You're not going to get any of that.
Look at all my mail that I have on my coffee table that just so happens to be nothing but bills. No one ever sends me mail.
See, this is where you're making the mistake. I don't actually live at my physical address, so that's
Yeah, see, that's the problem is they can track me down.
And you're expecting a check at some point. So,
Yeah, you're just like, ooh, come on, baby. I tried to pay my phone bill today, but I'm trying to change my plan at the same time. I'm trying to go from a $50 plan to a $60, and it won't go through on my phone. And I need to pay my phone bill because it's like I can't even make phone calls and shit. The bill's passed, and they've shut down my phone.
They shut down your messages yet?
Yeah, no. I still get messages. I can receive calls. I can receive text messages. It's hilarious because I'll receive texts from people that I know, and then I'll message them on Facebook Messenger, and they'll be like, "Bro, I just texted you. Did you see my text?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I'm messaging you."
You notice how I'm referencing the stuff that you brought up? Yeah,
yeah. You know, it's just they're like, "Well, if your phone shut off, how did you get the text messages?" It's just like, because I could still receive texts, I just can't send them out. Like, I had to tell my ex-boss, "Fuck you, Lorenzo," at Wash Tub off Austin Highway. He was like trying to call me because I just quit. He was like texting me saying, "You need to call me right now." And at the same time, it's like, you don't pay me enough to pay my phone bill, so I can't make that phone call.
Double-edged sword right there.
Right? You know, it's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm just a simple employee.
Yeah. And I've been long convinced that whole letting you get your messages thing, it's like, no, because we don't want to shut off your communication. Bullshit, you're teasing me.
Yeah, they want you to just pay your bill. That's what happened today was I got a bunch of texts and stuff, and I was just like, you know what, I got paid. I'm going to go and pay my phone bill and shit. But it's like fucking raining and shit, so I can't just walk to the store. So I was like, I'll just pay it over my phone because I'm on the Wi-Fi. I've never been so infuriated. Like, just trying to do it off of my phone on Wi-Fi because you got to go through the website, everything, and you're typing things in. And then you get to the very last part and you hit continue, but it won't continue. Because for some reason, the button won't activate.
Yeah, man. I feel you on that one.
You know, it's just like, I think it's just because I'm doing it on a phone, and I need to like do it on a computer, you know, like on the website or go to the store.
Yeah. My bank keeps trying to trick me into downloading their app. It's like, you can do it on your laptop, but we're going to message you on your phone.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you.
Oh, God.
What the hell did I give you all those secret passwords for?
Oh man, that's one of my favorites. Secret because like I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those guys who do something that I shouldn't, and I know this because I know technology. I've had to be in charge of stuff with technology before, but not like they'll always be like, yeah, never use one password for everything, and I use one password for fucking everything, and I know I'm not the only one. It's like, no. We all know all human beings use one single password, and then there's going to be like one person listening to a podcast who's going to be like, no, I use 17,000 different passwords. And you're just like, how can you remember all that? Well, I wrote them down. And you're like, why are you writing your passwords down, idiot? It's a great cosmic joke.
Yeah. I'll not lie. For about the first week after I get like a new PIN number or something, like it's like, yeah, if you stole my wallet right then, you could clean me the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
I'm past that stage. Don't be trying to jack me.
But
yeah, and what's really annoying is you call them up and they're like, "So what's the password?" And it's like, "I gave you like 6. Can you just like you be more specific here?" It's like, it's a family pet name? Come on, give me a clue here.
Yeah. What I hate is that because I have to go through the VA's website for my anything dealing with my hospital stuff, and like they got this thing called e-benefits, but they make you change your password every 90 days, and then it can't have any words in it, so you use numbers and letters and symbols, but it can't form a word anywhere in it.
At that point, you might as well just have a random number generator and go, here's your password.
Yeah, that's literally what I was like. Why do I have to come up with one? You know, because then I'll type something out and be like, there we go. That's for this and that's for that and this and that. They're like, no, that's actually a word in France. And you're just like, but we're not in France. We're in America, where I'm fucking free to choose whatever fucking password I want. You goddamn dictators. That's how I feel.
I'll confess to having at least once used the phrase "you're all a bunch of whores" in leet speak as my fucking password for something. It's just like, I don't like you. I don't like your service, but god damn it, I need it.
My favorite thing is like when people come over and they'll be like, "Hey, what's your Wi-Fi pass?" And I'll be like, "Is a fucking cat." Every letter of the beginning of every word, the first letter, it's uppercase, but it's all together. They're like, oh, okay. And then they're like, which one is it? It's like, okay, so if I'm talking about is a fucking cat, clearly it's the one that's named after my cat. You know?
Yeah.
And then they ask me if the A is uppercased in is a fucking cat. And it's just like, yeah. Of course, did I say the first letter of every word is uppercase? They're like, yeah, but it's only a one-letter word. I'm like, so there's a letter in it, right? So it's uppercase.
You didn't do too well in logic, did you, boy?
Yeah, no, I thought I made it pretty simple. I thought I did. I know my guest Wi-Fi password is fucking great, and that's because it's Castle Scarsdale, that I named my house. Because it looks like, dude, you see it when you come into the backyard. You saw it. It's like it looks like a castle. So I was just like,
yeah, you were downplaying it the entire time
yeah.
we were talking that, and then when I got here, I was like, what are you bitching about?
yeah, I know, right? I'm just like, oh no, see, there's like the only thing I really care about is the roof up top here. Is like it's got leaks and shit.
Yeah, water damage is not good.
Yeah, damage is not good. Yeah, that's what I complain about.
No, man, it's fucking real, man. I there is a roofer that if I ever see him out in public, he may get harmed because he basically I watched him bring in a bunch of like subcontractors who one of them asked me for a blunt wrap, so I was like, this is not a good sign.
That would be like I would like be like everyone else is fired but this guy, and then I'd be like that guy is now in charge of making sure this gets done while I'm here, and guess what? He's gonna be the goddamn supervisor, right? And then I'm gonna have him in charge and just be like, there you go, man. And then he's gonna sit with me and smoke his weed with me, and then while we go, yeah, y'all missed a spot. And we high five. You see, that's what I would do.
You're ambitious and a little too trusting, I'll be honest.
Well, not only that, but I might make a roofing business and just be like, hey, guess what? We get to hang out. Just bring your weed.
I'm not that hard up for green. Well, here's the thing. Obviously, man, I have no problem with stoners. It's one, they are my people.
They are my people.
They are the tribe in which I run amongst. But discretion is a wonderful thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, let's just assume that the person that's the property owner who's probably going to be paying you money doesn't want to hear about your drug use.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
maybe
true.
afterwards if you're like, hey, man, you want to smoke this blunt? Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
of course. But first work. No, like the reason why is because like I'm always on edge whenever I have like someone come into my house and they were like working on something.
Oh, you're thinking of this like it's like, are you a cop?
No,
I don't mean like that, but like in the movies where it's like, dude, you got to hit this blunt first before I'm cool with you.
Yeah, But at the same time, like, because like when my landlord ever like sends like the maintenance guy over, like he's gone through like sick because he keeps hiring like horrible maintenance men. There were a couple I was cool with though, even though they did a horrible job and they would just show up like every 3 months and they'll be like, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, and then like 3 months later they come back and you're just like, oh hey, so you're gonna fix my fucking roof now? And they're like, oh yeah, that's why I'm here, yeah. And fucking one of them though, that one was like he saw me smoking weed one time, and I was like, oh God, please don't tip the fucking landlord. And then all of a sudden he was like, y'all smoke weed? Fuck yeah. Now I know I could smoke inside. And I was just like, oh shit, yeah, you're awesome, man. Because at the same time I was just like, man, if the landlord ever found out, he'd be like, get the fuck out of my condo. And it'd be like, oh, well, I'm not going to leave today.
Well, all right, man, might be difficult.
I might fall down. I'm going to stand up and go right back down.
For when I first got here, or when I first started coming up here to San Antonio, I was kind of wondering, like, why don't you see like more people walking around? 'Cause you tree lined fucking sidewalks and whatnot. And I realized, like, oh, it's all fucking uphill, and if it rains, which it is right now, you can see the water flowing down like a river. It's
oh yeah. I like to play a game whenever it rains and I'm having to walk somewhere. It's called Who the Fuck is the Asshole? And it's basically when I see a car coming at me and I know there's a puddle onto the right-hand side, which most of the time there is, I'll just be like, is he a fucking asshole? And I'll take the guess. Most of the time I'm wrong. But then there's every so often I'm right. 3 times, in fact. I've been right. Because most of the time I'm like, he is. And then it's like, nope. And I'm like, fuck, I keep losing at this game. I'm horrible. And I think it's just because I don't think the best of people. And I'm just like,
No, that's reasonable.
Yeah. But the weird thing is, this is where it gets a little strange. The 3 guys who have done it to me, I've looked back at their license plate. And they all have a handicap license plate.
Maybe it's a vision thing.
I don't know. Or here's the thing. Maybe they can't walk, right? And they just see me walking with my 2 good legs, and they're just like, fuck this guy, and just floor it. And just spray me with water and shit.
Fuck your bipedal motion.
I know, right? And not only that, but I've had a couple people tell me, you can't think that, blah, blah. That's mean to think that handicapped people would do that. And I'm just like, I'm just saying, if I was handicapped, I would totally do it because no one would ever judge me. They'd be like, oh, dude, it's okay. He's handicapped.
Dude, that's right up there with fucking like little college kids going like, nah, man, you can't assume the worst of people. And it's like, you haven't been around enough people, have you? I've met dicks in a wheelchair.
Yeah, like, have you met people before? Have you seen humanity? It's like, let's just take North Korea, for instance. No, those are just a bunch of assholes, though. It's like, yeah. So multiply that by how many countries there are. And that's how many fucking assholes are just in one area of a town.
Well, even if you do the math and it's like, all right, think about how much North Korea must suck. So that a lot of people with resentment over there. Bring up the quality of life, and you're going to get less of those. And now multiply that so you get the population of our country, which 320 million at this point, something like that. And that's just on the census.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you factor in the fact that there are a bunch of people that are not living on the census and have to treat this country like a fucking, like it's Escape from fucking Prison Island here. It's
what the fuck was that movie? Escape from L.A. There you go.
Less surfing.
Yeah.
Though if hey, I'm looking forward to the coastal floods. There are parts of this country that need a good washing.
Whatever happened to Kurt Russell? Like, does he still do shit?
Yeah, he just did the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Oh, yeah. No, but I mean before that.
Oh, I don't know. The 90s were weird to that guy.
Yeah, I know, because, like, he it was like one of those things where he had instant popularity at the beginning of the 90s and then disappeared off like movies for a while, and then like I watched him in a couple B movies that came out, and a couple and then he would make some appearances on some movies. But
yeah, I don't think he got enough appreciation for that Tarantino flick, mainly because everybody took it as a goof. It's like, oh, Grindhouse, and it's like, no, I'm a death. All right, Planet Terror or whatever. That's just a good shitty movie. That's just like, there is no purpose to this. I'm going to go in here and let my brain just go wee.
I'm not gonna lie, that's actually like my favorite movies are like horror movies that are just god awful. And like there's like a one that's like
is that one up there with like Reanimator and shit?
Oh yeah. There's like this one. I think it's like the 40-story spider or some shit. Anyways, it's a giant spider one, but there's a comedic actor who plays the lead role, and he's an exterminator, like just a regular bug exterminator, and he teams up. Like this is how I'm going to sell the movie to you. He teams up with a hospital security guard named Juan, and together they kill a 40-story giant spider that keeps murdering people in the town, and it's like a Batman and Robin duo. It's so amazing. They are the best duo. Like, hands down, if there was like a buddy duo award, I would vote for them and be like, they are the guys. Like, that's the only reason I watch the movie, actually. Like, I'll watch that movie some days just when I'm just like, it's raining outside. I'm sad. Let me watch this buddy comedy duo. And then everyone's like, you know this is supposed to be a horror film, right? And I'm just like, yeah, he's Jeff.
You're missing the subtext.
Yeah, just like, oh, God, it's so great.
No, you talked me into it. Actually, speaking of Juan, have you ever seen Juan of the Dead?
No, I haven't seen Juan of the Dead.
It's not bad. Like, you would think, like, okay, a Cuban film ripping off a British horror comedy. It does its own thing. It's all they did was, kind of a play on the name, but it's surprisingly good.
Oh, yeah?
Like the character, like you're saying, you watch it just because like you want to, like, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
There's a joyous element to it.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing is I like it when it's just like a horrible movie, but great character. Like the movie is just god awful, but the characters you know why the horror movie is god awful is because the plot's god awful. But that's because they didn't spend enough time on the plot and they spent too much time on the characters, where they've thought it out, where there's like, yes, this character grew up in Kansas on a farm and had to pick eggs, so that's why he's not too fond of eggs and stuff. You know, like he's just angry about working on a farm and stuff as he's growing up older. He's just like, I gotta get out of this goddamn country ass blah 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 and go to the big city. And then he does, and then he gets in a horror film. You know, like it just builds up to where they're just like, oh my God, I never thought of that. And it's just like, you could see it with the characters, but the plot's god awful, and so is most of the CGI, you know?
Yeah, it's always a damn shame, man. Like it's like, look, you've written some decent characters here. I'm enjoying your work. Maybe get somebody to touch this script up. You know, it's just like, what could these characters be doing? But hey, that's what people get paid the big bucks, right?
Yeah, and that's why I know I can't write a book, is because I would spend too much time on like one aspect of the book, and then they're like, so where's the story? And I'm gonna be like, fuck! I knew I forgot something. Where's the conflict? Where's the fucking resolution? Where's the climax?
Just having flashbacks to fucking third grade English class. It's just like, why haven't you completed the? It's like, I thought I did.
I never thought I did. I just knew I didn't. I remember I won an award one time going to like a school competition for something, and the only reason I went was because I was dating this chick who was like
that'll motivate you.
Yeah, in one of the competitions or whatever. And really, it didn't motivate me at all, really, either, because like it was like one of my first girlfriends ever, and like she asked me out, and I was just like, yeah, sure, whatever, you know. And next thing you know, we go to the fucking competition, and I'm in geography, like maps, graphs, and charts, pretty much.
Oh, she pulled you into the competition.
Oh, yeah. I had to compete to be there.
Oh,
and so that means I had to pass all my classes so I could be at a school event.
They tricked you.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck, she's making me do things. God damn it. See, this is where it starts off in my hatred of like talking to people and being friendly with them, because a lot of times they want you to do things and you're just like, ah. And they're just like, no, this is like basic things you need to do as a human being. And it's like, well, I don't want to wear shoes, you know, like no pants for me today, right?
I specifically bought these cartoon underwear to be displayed.
Yeah, exactly. And so we go, and I fucking won, and I wasn't even trying, and I was just like, God, your schools are full of idiots. You know, because I was like, I'm barely, like, I didn't even try. Like, and by the way, guys, it's just, I didn't pass my classes because I was dumb. It's because I didn't do the homework. I was lazy. That's my problem. I'm not dumb. I'm just really, really, really fucking lazy.
Oh, no, I feel you, man. It seems to be a common thread through quite a segment of society at this point.
Oh, yeah. And really, it's just mainly because it's just like, what's the point of doing some shit?
Yeah,
and
they offer you no incentive. It's like, well, you can go to college and get a good job one day. It's like, I eat for free right now. You're using the wrong stimulus right now.
Wrong stimulus, bro.
Like, how will you pay for a roof over your head? I don't pay for one now.
Yeah, I know, man. Oh, so you know what's crazy is I've seen this when I used to work at the wash tub. There's a guy who would come by to like sell food and shit, like off this little grill, right?
Right.
And one of my coworkers was like, I know that dude. Let me tell you what he does. The dude is apparently on food stamps, and he buys food with the food stamps, and then he sells it.
I don't have a problem with that. That's good old American ingenuity right there.
I know, and I was like, fuck, man. Why haven't I thought of that? Like, usually I'm a guy trying to make some sort of government scam go on, you know? Like, Jesus. Oh, man.
I'll be honest. I think that's half of the when people are like, "No, man, when you're in line at the store and the guy buying steaks and the fucking this and that, and he pulls out a Lone Star card, and you're like, you're just jealous that you can't get that."
Yeah, that's what it is, man.
Like, think about it. You're looking at. I don't look at other people's wallets. They whip out a piece of plastic. I don't give a shit what's on the front. Pay for your shit. Get the fuck out of my way.
Because I'm next. You know, my brother though. Because I just got me and my brother just got food stamps, and we went to the store, and he was buying all this cheap shit, right, and everything, and I was just like, bro, like first of all, he was just like, let's just buy milk and cereal to see if the card worked. And I was like, why wouldn't the card work? Well, maybe they're like, oh wait, they're not a family kind of thing. And I was like, no, you were approved, because for some reason he was thinking, we don't fit like the category of poor, and I was just like, why? And like, I know why it is. He just doesn't want to say it. And it's because we're not black. We're not Mexican. We're not any minority. We're white, you know? So he thinks just because we're white, we're going to get turned down. I was like, no. How much money do you make? Minimum wage. How much money do I make? $0, right? So we're poor as fuck.
Anywhere on the application did it ask you for how pale your skin is? It's
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Like, did they ask you to send a picture? No.
Can you please stand next to this color chart as we...
You're 2 shades whiter than you can be for Lone Star cars, so get the fuck out of here. You know?
Wait, no, I'm Greek. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, never mind. That's better. No, I'm Irish. Well, you didn't stumble in here. We don't believe you.
Black Irish. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so we go, and like he wants to buy all this cheap shit, you know, and I was just like, nah, we're getting this goddamn fucking, you know what I'm trying to say, the fucking steak with the fucking bacon wrapped around it.
That there French cut that I can't pronounce.
Yeah. You know, my Texan accent is killing me sometimes. Like, that's the only reason I know I have a Southern accent is when I try to say something, and it's like, in my head, I know exactly how it sounds. And everyone's like, why do you have a problem saying that word? I was like, you don't understand. Like, my face and everything gets, like, tense and does that Southern drawl. Like, you know what I mean? Where the sound comes out of, like, the bottom right corner of your mouth, and you're like, oh, hello.
Oh, yeah, that's part of the reason I don't drink whiskey in public anymore, because my mouth just stops doing, like, what it should be.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing is it's just, like, really big, fucking fancy words, pretty much. Like, that's what the South people call it.
Oh, yeah, and my problem is I'm what's the word I'm looking for? A verbose motherfucker. So, I'll start using, like, the...
Verbose.
The ergonomy of this room.
Filet mignon. See, I could say it. See, I have to fucking focus, though, and, like, change my face to say it correctly.
You ever seen that interview with Samuel L. Jackson where he's talking about horrible stutter when he was a kid? And he's like, I still have the stutter. Just figured out if I pretend to be somebody else that doesn't have a stutter, I don't have a stutter. Huh.
Never seen the interview. That is amazing. Samuel L. Jackson actually is one of my favorite actors, mainly because, I'm not gonna like we talked about it before. I watch a shit ton of anime. I do.
Fair enough.
A shit ton of anime, and they have like this interview that they do. There's this interview show online where they interview famous people, but they use like Google search kind of thing where it's like Samuel L. Jackson likes, and then like it has like the autofill like, oh, these are what people are looking for. So they're basically like, look, so people are looking up these questions about you. Why don't you answer them? So he'll answer them there on the camera, and one of them is like, Samuel L. Jackson, does Samuel L. Jackson like anime? And he was like, yes, I do. And I was like, yes, Samuel L. Jackson, new favorite thing. But then he also kept going on where it's like, he died too. And it was just like, oh, God. Man, that's...
Y'all know about this Futa?
Futa? God damn, dude. I don't know, man. It's fucking weird.
I was having that conversation with a friend of mine the other day where it's like there are now Japanese words in my head just because I enjoy some of the dark comics that don't make nothing weird, nothing fucking mean or anything like that. Just like some of
They
that.
have a lot of strange shit in Japan.
That's the problem. You have to dig through some stuff where it's like, don't look. Oh God, I looked at what the fuck was that?
Yeah. There was a penis on a rock.
Shit, if you're lucky. Holy shit, it's a foot on the end of a tentacle and all the toes are penises. What is this?
Why would one have toe penises?
I ask myself this every time I come across it. That being said, I will be on one of the films that kind of got me into anime was something called Legend of the Overfiend, and it's this weird dystopian, demonic post-war setting with androids and a lot of tentacle fucking.
Oh, sweet.
So-
that's always like a key factor. That's how you know it's authentic Japanese. Tentacle fucking.
Well, it's kind of like if you went out like drinking for the first time and you had a wonderful night and then you spent the next morning just like vomiting horrible colors into a toilet. You go, oh, there's a downside to this.
Oh, yeah,
You're going to learn
yeah.
about things that you never knew before.
I see how this is going full circle because I was doing that this morning because of my hangover.
Oh, hangover plus that. Okay.
Yeah. It was great. It was great. It was one of those things where you like get up and you're just like, at first, when you first wake up, you're just like, I feel all right. And then you stand up, and then it's like, nope. You know, like everything just hits you at once, and then the world just like kind of like flips on you, and you're just like, bathroom now, ASAP. You know?
Oh, Jesus, man. I figured out a couple years ago I can either drink or I can eat. There has to be a gap in there some between. If I do them both on top of each other, we're getting into risky territory.
And that's the thing is like I was talking to Steve from Zombies last night about this. Was like hangover cures and shit. I don't know why I didn't do any of them yet, but
Chocolate and bacon grease.
yogurt is also good too because you gotta remember all that alcohol can kill germs, including the good germs down your stomach. That's why you get hangover gut. You eat some yogurt, good to go. Another one was like some pickle juice, lime juice, and then like Powerade or some shit. I don't know. It was something like that. And Steve was telling me, and I was like, "That sounds disgusting." And he was like, "Yeah, but it has all those what do you call it, electrolytes and shit and everything." And I was just like, "You could just drink Gatorade. You know, like you don't have to use it as an ingredient. You could just drink Gatorade." He's like, "Yeah, but the pickle juice, the lime juice, and the salt or some shit like that." And you're just like, I don't think we need all that.
I am both grateful and angry at the world that I had to learn food science to figure out my drug. I mean, as far as alcohol and some of that stuff, where it's just like, okay, I can't eat the sugars afterwards because the body recognizes the alcohol as a sugar, so it's just going to burn more of that. That's why the headache persists. Yeah. It's like, all right, I'm dehydrated because I pissed all my salts out because I clearly wasn't eating anything last night, which is, I kind of feel like you hear about these like gastropubs, and it's like if you actually were a gastropub, you would take into consideration you shouldn't be feeding your customers. These drunken assholes in your bar should not be eating this horrible deep fried shit that you're fucking serving.
Oh God, especially when it's just like hey man, so I think that dude has had enough. Let's give him some food, and then they eat it, and then they just vomit it up. Like I that's happened before. Well,
that's what I'm saying, man. Most people don't even like. There's no recognition of what the actual biological processes that are happening. It's like, why am I sick?
Yeah,
it's like, well, because your body's been burning pure sugar in the form of alcohol for what 6 hours now. So yeah, maybe break it up a little bit. Throw some protein, a little bit of fat in there. You know, diversify your availability of nutritional content, friend.
Now, the only problem about being an alcoholic and shit is when something happens, everyone's like, well, it's probably because you were, you know? And then sometimes, like, you get into a situation where you go to, like, a place called Alamo City Fish and Chips, and it's, like, next to, like, a Korean church, this bar, and, like, this hairdressing place for, like, weaves and shit. And, like, it's ran by these two Korean guy, like this Korean guy and this Korean girl, and like I ordered, what was it? Trout, chips, shrimp, and oysters, fried oysters. Everything's fried.
Right on.
So, I eat all that, and then on the way back to my house, we get stuck at a stoplight, and my sister looks at me and it's just like, "You look like you're not okay." And I was like, "I'm not. And then all of a sudden it hit me, and I had to roll down the window because I was going to puke. And she was just like, not in my car. And I started rolling down the window, and the window isn't moving fast enough. Like, and I know this because I had to tilt my head to the side and like stick my head out the window before I could like just vomit in her car. And like I moved my head back, and the window was like actually pushing up on my chin to where I made like this sad face and just like vomited down my chin. It was like, "Rrr!" And like that made that noise. It was like, "Rrr!" And then like. Then the window finally gets rolled down enough to where I could just like open my jaw. There's like, "Rrr!" And there's just, we're in the turn lane in the middle of the fucking road. We're the first car up at the light. So there's just all this traffic behind us, and they can all just see me just puking out on the middle of the fucking road. There's like people pointing and laughing. My brother's like, dude, look, that guy's dying laughing at you right now. This is like, you should be a comedian now, because like this is funny. And then I was just like, not now, you know, and fucking like there was like a dude in a car laughing, taps his wife, so his wife will get off the phone, looks and goes, oh God, you know, like, don't show me that, you know. It was hilarious, but and I just kept puking, and we turned, and I was still puking. So all the other people who might have not have seen me because they're on the left side of the car now has seen me just vomit at them.
You've just painted another stripe on the road. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, just like, you know, just like, it's like the fucking Exorcist, kind of like, just like, because like it was one of those things, you know, when you put your thumb over a hose and it goes like, it makes like the V out of the water stream. That was me vomiting. You know, it was just like, out of my mouth, like, ah. I was just like, oh, why?
Oh God, this is some horrible reverse glory hole situation.
Yeah, I know, right? It was god awful, man. And then my sister goes, it was probably because you were drinking last night. And I'm like, it's 8:00 at night, and I got rid of my hangover at noon.
That's not how biology works.
You know, like it's like, that's not how. They're like, no, I bet you there was a small pocket of alcohol that got stuck in your body somewhere. Like if it's just like it's trying to hide out and make a cozy little home, and it's like, no, it's not. It goes through my digestive system, and the next day it comes out, or that night it comes out. One of the two, depends on if I vomit that night. You know?
Yeah. I would immediately assume the oysters.
Yeah, that was my first thing, too. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the goddamn oysters, right?
The shellfish bottom feeders, I'm going to go with that one, yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's all I'm saying. So, but yeah, man, that's the time of dealing with hangovers, man. I need to stop doing that.
Yeah, you know, one that you talk about, like hangovers getting worse with age. It's just the body kind of going like, all right, fucker, we're going to shut down some of these systems. We're going to bring the efficiency down a little bit, but
we're gonna lower the shields down to 50, but increase our weapons to 100. You know,
I think part of what it is you could have. I remember god awful just days in bed in my early 20s, but you get enough of those under your belt, and like even you wake up with a slight twinge, and you're like, oh God, not another one.
Oh God, yes, I know. Anytime I wake up from like, if even I had like one drink, and I wake up, if like I even have like the slightest like little bit of like pain on my head, like let's say my cat scratched me in my sleep on my forehead for some reason, I'm immediately gonna be like, oh God, no, not again. Like I hate hangovers; they're the absolute worst. Which then some people are just like, why don't you quit drinking? Then it's like, because I love booze.
You don't understand how alcoholic culture works, do you?
Yeah, no. We drink and then regret. And then we drink again because we regretted it.
Look, it's like Catholicism. Just let me lay it out.
Yeah, but
my bartenders who I give my confessions to and my money. It's exactly like Catholicism.
Not only that, but you know, I like to talk to the bartenders and bar people. You know, like I tell them stories and they laugh and it's great. In fact, I was telling this one last night. So when I was in the military, it's my first deployment. I'm getting ready.
Right on.
Right? And there's I'm like 18. I'm a private, and there's a guy that I know named Specialist White, and he's been deployed before and shit, and he was part of my squad and shit. So he would be talking to all the young guys and shit, and be like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. You know, just as long as everyone does their job, you know, just focus on the training." But we would, we were shooting the shit, and he goes, "Yeah, my last deployment, there was a big argument going on." about if docking is gay or not. And I didn't know what docking was because, again, 18 years old, just joined the military.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, well, let me tell. It's when you take a circumcised penis and put its head up against the head of a uncircumcised penis, and you roll over the excess skin." And right away, I was like, "How are you having an argument about that? That's fucking gay. You're crossing swords. You never cross streams, right? You know, like have you Ghostbusters taught you anything? Like, come on." And like this went on, like, and he was like, "Nah, look, we were saying it's like it's possible for it not to be gay." And I was like,
did he lay out a scenario?
well, he kept trying to, and everyone was like, "No, that's still gay." Like, everyone was telling him that, and he kept laying out scenarios. And our first sergeant walks by, and he hears him talk about this, and he just stops in his tracks, looks over, and goes, "Docking is fucking gay. Don't ask, don't tell. I don't want to know," and walks off. And people last night were just like, because there were like a couple old people there that were like, "We don't know what docking is." I told her, like, "Jesus Christ, that's disgusting." I was like, I know, right? That's how I felt. Like, I was like, how you're feeling? That's how I felt.
Imagine my poor little 18-year-old mind.
Yeah, you know, like, oh my God, it's ridiculous, man. It was fucking, oh God. So,
Now, I have read my share of historical accounts, and the Greeks have quite a few of them. The Persians even. What's with the gay thing in the military, man? I don't get it.
oh, it's because back in the day in history, right, it'd be the men that are out fighting the war.
I don't know. I get this, the survival of whatever you have, but I mean, like, is that still a problem?
Oh, nah.
It's just a tradition at this point.
I don't know. Like, I think it's just like now they just make gay jokes and shit. And like, there's a couple of people that you could tell, like, right off the bat, you're like, yeah, they're gay. And but then there were, like, I remember there was one dude in my second deployment. Like, you there's no way. No one ever thought he was gay, and then Don't Ask, Don't Tell got removed, and he, like, was having a barbecue, and he had his, like, squad over, and my buddy was telling me, he goes, "Yeah, man, so I'm there, and they handed me a shot of tequila," and I was like, "What's this for?" And he goes, "Oh, this here is, you're going to need this. I just hold on to it for a second." And he goes, "Okay," and they all sit down, and he's like, "Okay, so you remember how you would always talk to so-and-so about dating advice and stuff," and then he would tell you about his girlfriend, Janet, who lives with her brother Todd. "Yeah, okay, so Janet's not real, but Todd is." And he was like, "What are you talking about?" And it, like, took him a second. He was like, it didn't click yet, man. I didn't get it yet. And then finally it hit me. And he was like, "Oh," and he just, like, kicked back the shot and was like, "Okay then." And they were like, "So this is Todd." Introduced him to Todd, like, because the dude was like, "I would talk to this guy all the time about my relationship problems with my wife, and we'd be doing it in the shower, like because you have, like, this little shower little area where they have, like, small individual showers and stuff." So he's like, get ready to take a shower, to be talking to the guy while he's getting ready to go take a shower. And the dude's like, "Yeah, blah, blah." And he goes, "So I've been getting my advice from a gay man this entire time based off of scenarios with a fake girlfriend."
Well, now here's the real question. Was any of the advice decent?
I mean, he's divorced, so I'm
Okay.
going to say no.
Yeah. So apparently Todd is not an accurate representation of the average woman. So,
No,
yeah.
not at all. Not at all. But yeah, man, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, then there's some people that you just tell right off the bat, you're like, dude, he's flamboyant. Like, we had this one dude who was an admin, and, like, we all knew he was gay. We just didn't ask, and he didn't tell. But you could tell, like, sassy black guy. That was like flamboyant, sassy black guy. That's literally, like, he fit the stereotype of, like, that character that you would see on TV, but in the military. He was in the military. He was an admin, so he was always dealing with paperwork and stuff. And he'd be like, "I know you didn't just walk in my office with that grumpy look on your face. No, you got bad news for me. You better turn around. I'm having a good day." And you're just like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I'm trying not to be like, just be like, dude, stop being so gay. You know, like, at least try to hide it. Like, you know, this is the military for Christ's sakes. But they finally got rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And he was like, it was crazy too, because he was like, guys, I got something to tell you. I'm gay. And it's like, yeah, we fucking know. Like this one hit us from left field, but we knew.
Is it technically in the closet if you're standing in the doorway waving?
Yeah. Hi guys, how you doing? Just, oh god, it's ridiculous.
I've always some of the humor that comes out when I've hung out with former military friends of mine. It's just like, okay, yeah, way too comfortable talking about not only your dick but all the dicks you might know.
Oh yeah. No, I know. I freaked out a friend one time. So it's like me and two of my friends. We went to Austin to go do some comedy, and we ran into this chick that knew one of my friends, and we already saw her like giving that one friend like some signals, but then she was like giving us all signals, and then said something about like one of my buddies. He was crafty. He was very crafty, and he knew how he was good with words.
Creative type, okay.
Yeah, you know, to the point that he got her to say, pretty much say, oh yeah, I've always wanted to be banged by a group of dudes. And me and the dude who asked that question, we were like, boom! Like, we locked eyes and we're just like, we can make this happen. But the dude who actually knew the chick didn't know we were trying to do that until we got into the car and we were following her to her house. And we were like, all right, man, look, we can do this. Blah, blah. And he was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And so we go to her room and she's like, yeah, we're going to fucking do this. And she's like, I can finally mark this off my bucket list kind of bullshit. And
you're doing a good deed.
Yeah, you know. And I'm like, I've done this before. I was in the military, you know, like we've tag teamed girls before, you know. And then like we realized the dude who actually knows the chick is trying to like make love to her. And I was like, who the fuck makes love to a woman in the middle of a goddamn orgy, right? Like, that's fucking disgusting. Get out of here. So, because like you just have me and another dude standing there with our dicks in our hands, and he's just like all like monopolizing everything. You're just like, hey, bro, go take a breather.
You're like the heralds of reality in this situation going, look around.
Yeah.
Just observe.
So I start, you know, going to town. And this is where I realize that the military made me too because, you know, she was like, yeah. And I was just like, hey, yeah, you should, like, you know, suck my buddy's dick while you're doing that because, you know, he just kind of standing there. And that's when he was like, oh, man, I can't do this. I'm out. And he was like, when you said that, that's when I was just like, nope, this got uncomfortable. And I was like, I was looking out for you, buddy. I was looking out for you, you know, like, and I told him, I was like, that's how, I don't know, like, me and my buddies in the military would be like, I got you, Battle. I got you. Because you always call everyone Battle, like, because they're your battle buddy, you know. Make sure you have your battle buddy when you go into battle, you know. So
you're trying to be a team player here, and he doesn't understand the concept. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, but at the same time, I was like, maybe it's made me a little too comfortable.
Yeah. Now I figured out the area in which I come from, which is deep South Texas, the Rio Grande Valley, is there is way too much. Like, it's on the opposite side of that spectrum, where it's like I played high school football and nobody showered. It was like, wow, you guys are like first of all, I know I stink, so this is gonna be a problem for me. Like, if y'all aren't gonna use the shower, that means I get it to myself. So you know, y'all stay out here with your stanky dicks.
I was in band.
Marching band?
Yeah.
Well, there's a bit of funk builds up on that one.
Yeah. Only when, you know, you're in the marching band uniform does the funk come out. So games, really.
Yeah.
So I'll go home and take a shower at my house after the game. So, but I played trumpet, and I was really upset because you can't play trumpet in a rock band. And then I heard Cake. And I was like, oh, this is my chance. I'm going to start a rock band with my friends. I'm going to play trumpet. And then I gave up on it way before I even tried to even start. Like, I said that, and they were like, no, I'm not. I'm not doing that. That's dumb.
It's okay. It's a slippery slope. Next thing you know, you'd be in a ska band. You'd have your hair down to your ass. It'd be weird, man.
I know. I'll probably be like, you know, be friends with hipsters and shit and be like, yeah, try to grow a beard and just be like, oh, I can't do that. You know? instead of my hateful, lazy self now, I would have had like dreams and aspiration.
Yes, but the pressure of that hate and the laziness just builds the comedy.
God, it does so much, actually. Like, that's the only real reason I do comedy. It's just like it all builds up. And I'm like, I have to go do this or I'm going to explode. And people are like, so you have a dream to do comedy? It's like, no. For me to live, I have to do this or my body's literally going to explode because of the rage that is building up inside of me. Just like, oh my God.
This has to come out. I can either get you alone in private and this is going to be weird, or we can do it in public.
We could do it in public. It'll be great. It'll be great because then you're just yelling nonsense and usually people are like, yeah, I feel the same way. It's like, right? But I'm talking about you.
You know how you're people? Yeah.
Yeah. You know when you hate people? Yeah. Yeah, you're people.
Welcome to my wrath, you fuckers.
I was telling someone the other day, I was like, if I could have been anything in my, in my life, it would just be like a grumpy old cat. It would be like that would be like what I would have loved to have been instead of human. Because someone's like, why? I was like, because then I don't have to really deal with people. And they're like, no. There'll still be people trying to pet you and shit. I was like, yeah. And then I scratch them with my fingers that are knives. And then they leave me the fuck alone. And people be like, oh, but they won't, if you do that in real life, you get assault.
Yeah.
If you do it as a cat, it's adorable.
I think that kind of goes back to, people not understanding human nature. As a cat owner, you're well aware, I love my cat. He's an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
There is no fucking mysticism about that.
Yeah, see, he's Bruce Wayne here is kind of an asshole. See, he's ignoring me, but he's not. What are you doing, Bruce? Anyways.
I'll be honest. If we could trust larger cats, I'd keep them as security animals.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted a tack panther, but I settled for a black cat.
Yeah, the problem is the panther gets the wrong idea one night. You twitch in the wrong direction, and
Well, I want an attack panther that's only trained to attack one person, right? And then I'm gonna have that one person come and watch my cat one day when I'm just like, oh, I gotta go on a business trip, so I need you to watch my cat. And they go in, and it's my attack panther, and he's just like, wow, and then that person's gone. And then we train it to attack another person, and I'll be the next person who has to watch my cat.
You remember that shit a few years ago? It was, I think it was Michael Clark Duncan. At least I think it was Michael Clark Duncan. Anyway, some famous, large black man, famous actor, had basically a pack of Great Danes in his house.
Yeah.
And whoever his keeper was just fucked up one day and just got mauled by these fuckers. And it's, have you ever stood next to a Great Dane?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they're goofy fucking slobbery little bastards. I mean, well, little, but you know what I mean, in mental capacity.
Yeah.
They're large children, but they're big fucking animals, man. And they're technically bred to chase down game. I wouldn't try to smack one of those, is all I'm saying. At what?
Yeah. I have, my grandmother's neighbor had one, and it jumped up on me, and I'm 6'3", and it jumped up on me and put its paws on my shoulders, and I realized this thing's taller than me.
Yeah, man.
I was like, dude, this thing is a beast. It could murder me. It could literally murder me right now, but instead it's drooling all over me, and it's disgusting, The
things people do for pets, man.
Oh, dude, I know, right? I have to shovel his shit and everything. And he's just like, yes, Alfred, I made a number 2 today. And he's like, shit. And he's like, now I'm going to go run around the fucking house for at 3 o'clock in the morning. So,
to be honest, maybe it's because you have all carpet, but I'm noticing a distinct lack of cat fur over everything. So.
Oh, yeah. Mainly because, he'll do all of his shedding on my chest. He does this thing where he gets on my chest and nuzzles his head underneath my chin, and that's where he's just like, that's where I'm gonna lay. But then he start keening. That's where they start making dough and shit. Yes. But right next on my neck, because his head's right there on my chin, and then his claws are right there on my arteries, and you're just like, I think he's trying to murder me with love, just like.
There is a small bit of I've never fully trusted any cat I've ever been around. There was always that small gleam in the back of their eye that tells you if you were small enough, it'd be on.
I feel like he was doing it as I love you, but just remember I can still murder you. I believe that's what he was doing. The only reason he even cares about me at all is because he's like food giver. You know.
Well, here's the weird thing. All right. Mountain lions are about the closest large cat to the house cat. Apparently, they hunt the same. They have pretty much the same habits. They're the only ones that purr. Blah blah blah. They can feel a pulse with their teeth. Like their canines have a nerve in there where they can feel a pulse, so they know exactly where to bite down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying, don't let him near your throat. That's all I'm saying.
That's probably why he's doing it. You piece of shit. He's planning to murder me.
Does he leave tribute?
No.
You get smoked? No. Oh shit, man.
No, because he doesn't go outside and hunt.
Oh, you're a responsible cat owner.
Yeah. I don't want him to go outside because that's how he gets fleas, and then that's how he gets worms. Like I'll apply the flea stuff and everything, but there's always like sometimes I might have a gap in it for some reason, you know, where it's just like, oh, I forgot to do it last week, so I'm doing it today. But if he gets out in that last week, he'll have fucking fleas. Like there was one time that happened. Pretty much, that's what happened. He got fleas, and we got rid of them real quick. But it was enough time for him to eat like one flea that had worms, and then he had worms coming out of his booty hole. Like, and that's like one of the most disgusting things you could ever see because, like, first of all, cats love showing you their buttholes.
Yeah.
And then you just see a little guy like wiggling around out there, just be like, "Oh hi, how you doing?" And you're just like, "Oh, it's disgusting. Like even more disgusting than normal." You know?
Yeah. Nah, dogs and cats, man. Yeah, I grew up with dogs my entire life, but I've come to the conclusion that we should not share our domiciles with creatures.
Oh God, yeah. Again, I remember one time I got home and I was gone for like a week, and when I got home, I was sitting there on the couch. I was just like relaxing, like in my like chair by my desk upstairs, and all of a sudden I hear my cat like scratching at my sheets, and there was like an old dried cat turd on my sheets, and I guess he was just like, oh, he's home, I should try to hide that. And like I was just like, son of a bitch. So I get it all clean, and then the next day, after I put on the clean sheets and stuff,
You replace it?
he peed on my bed.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I had to like.
Is he clipped?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so not quite as funk, but funk enough.
Yeah, just like it's just one of those things. Like I literally just put on the sheets, and then it was like, okay, let me go grab something to drink from a cup of water. Come back with my cup of water, and then there's just like there he is. And I'm just like, God damn it! Like I just put those there. It was god awful, man. And I had to like wash it again. It really, I had to like look it up online too because I was just like, why did he do this? Like his litter box is clean. I fed him. He has water. Like how could he still be mad and shit? And then it was just like, oh hey, you should really try to wash your sheets really good because if they could still smell it, they'll do it again. And I was just like, God damn.
Yeah, I've given up Minnie a towel that wound up on the floor, and my dog just went, oh, this looks like a comfortable place to lie down. It's yours now.
It's yours now, buddy. It's yours now. But, oh, man.
So what anime are you watching, man?
It's a shit ton, actually.
You seen this new one they put out on Netflix with Jaden Smith?
No.
It's weird. Very weird.
Oh, is that Nico, whatever?
Yeah, Neo Yokio or something like that.
Yeah. I've just seen it like on the new releases. I haven't watched it yet because I was busy watching American Vandal.
I haven't heard of this one. What's that?
Ooh, Netflix original. You need to watch it. It's amazing. It's about so there's a vandalism that happens in a California high school where someone drew dicks on 27 cars, like on faculty cars. And
love it already.
What's crazy is they think it's this one dude, and he gets expelled. Like on episode 1, he gets expelled, and the dude's like, it's a mocker. It's supposed to be a documentary, but it's a mockumentary.
Mockumentary. Okay, I get you.
So, because it's fake,
right?
Because Andy Richter is in it.
Sure.
He only plays a small role too. That's what's crazy. Is like you'll see him every once in a while, and then you're just like, it just gets you going. That's Andy Richter, right? That's who that is, right? And like it has yourself question yourself sometimes because you're just like, he doesn't really have lines or anything or this that. Like he's just there. He's supposed to play like the stepdad, so he doesn't really have a lot to say to the son who gets expelled.
Right.
So. But the dude making the documentary is another student, and
so this is like some poor art class type of.
Oh no! It's actually like really well put together. Because it's an actual studio doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's not an actual documentary, but it's supposed to be seen as that, like at first, and then it goes viral. Is what they're saying, but it's fake. But what's crazy is, so 27 dicks, and they think it's this one kid because a teacher's tires / another student said he saw him there, and he is also a known dick drawer.
He's got the cards stacked against him.
Yes, has all the cards stacked against him.
So does this go down like some sort of? I mean, does this guy behind the camera end up being the dick drawer in this situation?
No.
Okay.
He thinks he found the dude who was the dick drawer. But she pretty much just like, you can't prove it, blah blah, all that shit. But fucking they have it set up for a season 2 though.
The tricky bastards.
Yeah, I know, because they ended it where it was like, fuck, because the dude at the end of the series, he's all pissed off and shit because, even though he proved his innocence, everyone's still like, he saw like how everyone actually thought of him and shit in the documentary, and he didn't get any reconciliation from the school or anything. They're like, you won, congratulations, you have fun now, get out of my class.
Good old cynicism. I'll have to check it out, man.
Yeah.
Netflix is doing some interesting things as far as the original content, but yeah, they've gone some weird routes. You still trying to put anything together, man? Last time I was talking to you, you mentioned trying to do something with a sketch project.
Oh yeah. I'm doing a bunch of sketches and stuff with some people now, but we haven't released anything yet. We've got some stuff recorded. We got this one where it's just titled Crab Traps. It's just like, we actually made fucking crab traps out of like a wire that we bought. Because, you can't find crab traps in San Antonio. So.
Understandable.
Yeah. So we put all these crab traps on this bed and shit. And the sketch is pretty much like, there's 2 dudes in a room, and one dude's just like, hey man, can I borrow your charger? And he goes, yeah, sure, it's in my room. And the dude goes in there, he's like, what the fuck are these? And the dude goes in there and he goes, what do you mean? He's like, why do you have a bunch of like traps like a fucking serial killer on your bed? And he goes, oh, those are crab traps. You remember when you told me there's been a big epidemic of crabs, so watch who I sleep with in bed? So I got crab traps, and like, so that's the whole like just a joke and shit, and it goes off further into it and shit. But that's like how we're doing it, and I know like there's gonna be some weird ones. They told me there's supposed to be a sketch where I'm supposed to dress up as a nun. I was like, good luck with that, but we'll see. And they're like, well, they say the best comics and comic actors can do this and that. I was like, cool, that's cool. So right now,
to quote Dave Chappelle, I'm not putting on a dress.
Not like that, but I was like, right now, I'm not the best at anything.
Oh, that's a good angle. It's like, I haven't achieved that status yet.
Yeah,
I can't be wearing dresses.
I haven't achieved that status yet. Like, oh well, a lot of actors do it, so then that way they can show their acting prowess. And it's like, okay, so I've taken 0 acting classes, so I'm not gonna do that. Just like, nope, not happening.
Doing method acting here, and my method is to not wear dress.
Yep, that's right.
Aside from that, you seeing anything interesting going on in the scene? Anything that gives you hope?
John Tuttle.
Okay.
Not there's stuff going on. Like I know now. Everyone's kind of cool with everyone right now and shit. Like, there's not really a lot of negativity going on and shit. But hopefully that stays like that, because everyone's kind of like, all right, we're just doing our things. And only problem is that I'm about to go to Laugh Out Loud tonight for their open mic, so we'll see how it goes, because they might just be like I show up and then everyone's just at each other's throats, like, I'm gonna murder you, and it's just like, oh fuck, what happened? Like, I was gone for like 2 seconds.
Is that a regular phenomenon?
Yeah, very regular. But I do know I got like a show in Laredo coming up. I think October 5th. Yeah, I'm doing that Laredo Laughs thing.
Yeah, they seem to be pulling it down pretty steady as far as keeping those shows together.
Yeah, man. It's me, Josh Cabaza's headlining, and we got Anthony Chavarria going as well. So, which that's actually the trifecta we had when we went to Mario's one time to go do the Cine El Rey, and
Right.
I told you the story where me and Chavarria ate like gummies at Mario's and thought like there was a ghost in his house because there was something like moving in his house, and then it was
no, I
Mario
heard this.
making a sandwich.
Oh, shit.
Because like his brother was like Mario's brother was there, but he just left, and we knew Mario was asleep and Kabaza was asleep, and we just hear a bunch of rustling in the kitchen. But we also, while Mario's brother was there, we're all sitting at the kitchen table, and the trash can, of course, is behind us. But we can all see each other, and no one throws anything into the trash can, but something goes into the trash can, like trash. Like someone like threw his trash, goes in. And we were like, what the fuck? And there was no one else up walking around or anything. It was just like trash that went into the trash can out of nowhere, and we're just like, there's a fucking ghost in here. And me and Chavarria thought that because we were super baked off these gummies.
How many of those edibles did you eat?
We ate one, but it was like they used Reggie, so they taste awful, but they used a shit ton of Reggie to the point that like, because Mario was like, yeah, just keep chewing on them, and you just to get the most THC out of it. And we chewed on it for like an hour. Like, we both had like a big size gummy, and we just chewed on it for like an hour, and we were just so baked. I remember we went outside to smoke a cigarette. And then we heard the movement inside, and we're like, oh, ghost is back. We hear the fridge opening, and we're like, it's making a sandwich. And at that moment, I proceeded to pray, where I was like, dear God, I know I don't believe in you, but if there's ever a time I needed your powers, it's right now.
If you're going to go as far as ghosts, you might as well start going to deities, man.
Yeah, right? And then they say, fucking Chavarria is just like, you know what? I believe if you ask nicely enough, he'll do it for you. And we go inside. And it's fucking Mario making a sandwich. And like, it was just so anticlimactic where it was just like, beep, it's just fucking Mario. All right, cool. Where we're just like, oh, fuck, thank God. It's just Mario. But fuck, here I was ready to fight a ghost,
And I'm pretty sure anyone who's never been that fucking blitzkrieged on edibles would understand the fear.
Yeah.
Everything becomes a challenge.
It made me pray to a deity that I do not believe in. Like, help me, help me, baby Jesus.
Oh, Ganesh, get in on this one.
Yeah, right. It was pretty ridiculous, man. So that trifecta is going to Laredo, October 5th. Then October 15th would be there's this pizza joint down the road from my house called Mars Pizza.
I've heard of it.
Yes. Josh Castro's now booking shows there.
Nice.
And I'm booked on October 15th. I don't know who's on this show yet, but I sent him my headshot already, so I could be like, there you go.
Yeah,
but
man. Get on top of the shit.
Yeah, I know. I need to. I made a video today. Like, it did like the whole Facebook Live thing. It was like, yeah, here I am. I'm going to talk about my upcoming shows. And I was cooking breakfast while doing it. Like,
as you do, yeah.
Yeah, So I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to multitask and shit. But at the same time, one of my buddies was like, yeah, dude, I was getting like motion sickness because you're like moving around a lot and shit. And there's just like, and it was like, and I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I was just like multitasking. I can't multitask, I'm trying to be an adult here. And they're like, you an adult?
Ease back the ambition there, Sparky.
Yeah, right? Like,
no, yeah, live streaming is definitely a skill.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, I think that's really it. All I got going on, really. Those two shows, and then still working on the sketch stuff. I know supposed to go film something. I think on Wednesday or Thursday, some shit like that. Which most of the time I'm just like, I wake up and they're just like, yeah, we're here, and I'm just like, oh, fuck, I guess I should put pants on. Not that thing again.
Oh, this seems to be a returning theme here.
I know, dude. I don't like wearing pants. I like to be, just fucking relaxing in my fucking underwear and just being like, ugh.
No, I definitely appreciate the fact that you're wearing them now.
I know, right? Like I'm wearing shorts. It's not, they're not pants, but it's a step up from underwear. So
they have pockets in them too.
Yeah, I know, right? What I hated was I had to hit up the ATM earlier, and like my wallet can only hold up so much money before it looks like it's just like thick and shit. And like I had it in this pocket, and I'm in Walmart walking to go out the thing, and there's like a cop there, and I'm just like looking down at my pocket because I'm just like, man, that really just looks like a box I just like pocketed some box in my fucking pocket. And I'm just like, because then he'll be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, I already ran this scenario through my head. I was just like, he's going to stop me. And he's like, what's in your pocket? I'm going to be like, my wallet. And then he's going to be like, no, let me see, sir. Like, now he's like thinking he's going to catch a thief. And then I pull out my wallet and I slap him with all that money I just got. And it was like, God, just be like, yeah, motherfucker, pay your bills. And then, like, walk off. Like, that's what I thought was going to happen. But instead, the cop wasn't even busy enough to notice me. Like, he was just like, oh, whatever.
Like, why can't you help me play out my fantastical scenarios?
I know, right? Like, at first, it seems like the worst kind of scenario. But then in the end, it's just like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slap him with that money. Yeah. You know?
Ambition of most broke folks.
Just
like,
yeah.
Give me somebody I can throw some money at.
I don't know. I remember one time one of my friends were like, you want to hold $5,000? And I was like, yes, I do. And he just like poured all this money out in my hands. And I was just like, ah! And I was like, oh, let me take a picture. It used to be like, my old phone, it used to be like my background. And
just $5,000 in a palm.
Yeah, just being like, and I'd always be like, oh, because I'll be at the bar and stuff talking to a girl. I'll pull out my phone and then unlock the screen, and they see the background. They're like, oh, is that you with money? Yeah, it's nice, right? It's a nice picture of me. Yeah, and of the money, right? But then when they find out after they sleep with me, then I have no money, and it's like, the great sham, because then they can't say anything like, you don't have any money, and it's just like, oh, so you just wanted me for my money, huh? Gold digger. And then because then they're just like, you tricked me. And it's like, well, technically, you try to trick other people, you know?
I'll be honest, Jacob, it's your balance of cynicism and realism that just makes you a complete soul right there.
I know, right? That's the thing is like, I love it when when someone's just like, hey, you can't do that. It's like, you're doing something just as bad. You know, just like, stop judging me, you know?
Technically classism. Like, wait a minute. You can't go around looking for dudes with money, but I can't pretend to have money. And
yeah, you know, like, I'm just saying, I think we make a good couple.
Look, we're both two broke people that want money.
Yeah, see? So what we do is we rob a bank. And
this is how Bonnie and Clyde went down.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally how it went down. But yeah, freaking... I don't know, man. That's a lot of stuff I kind of think of sometimes when I run into some people where it's just like, man, like my dad the other day, how I was telling him, because I got that job at the wash tub or whatever, and then when I did get hired, they were like, ooh, we can't hire you until you turn in your Social Security card. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I have this receipt, though, and... because I lost my Social Security card. And the receipt's good for 90 days.
Oh, that's fun.
And then they were like, ooh, we can't accept this. I was like, no, you can't. Dealt with this before. So I was telling my dad this whole scenario, and it pissed me off because I was like, I know I can use it. And my dad was like, nah, they got to check it because, you know, all these illegal immigrants. And I was just like, oh. But then, you know, because like, it's just like, Dad, that has nothing to do with it. Like I stopped listening as soon as he said illegal immigrants. It was just like, these illegal immigrants. It was like, no, done. Dun, 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 yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And, but he'll yell at me for my drinking, and I'm just like, no. You don't get around, you don't get to come around me, tell me about all your fucking bigoted ideas, and then tell me that I drink too much. No. That's not how this works, sir. So.
I applaud you for your responsible bigotry, but.
Yeah, you know, like,
moral gray area. Jeez. Yeah, trying to just trying to fucking deal in jokes, man. And you get online and it's like, holy shit, it's like, I don't even want to make fun of some of this shit. This shit ain't funny to me. It's like, well, dude, why aren't you talking about social shit? And it's like, because that's not funny to me. That's real shit.
Yeah, my favorite thing is, because what I've been doing lately, and because I can't get on Facebook to like post up jokes or anything. Because whenever I do, there's so much going on in the world that I see someone say something dumb, and I'm like, I just have to respond. Or I'm just like,
people.
This is how the world is, man. Like, you not realize, like, because they say dumb things to the point where you're just like, you realize you're just making it worse for you by just saying that, you know? Like, one person was like, because they were talking about the whole kneeling football thing. So
Right.
God.
I fucked up and got on Twitter last night, and I'm like, okay, Jerry Jones is kneeling on a football field. We all knew that was where his church was. What the fuck are you surprised about?
So one of the things though is like the people being like, they're bringing in politics to football and blah blah blah. Like, because that's the main reason why people are pissed off. That's the main reason people are pissed off. They're like, why are they bringing politics into football? I use football to escape.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, do you not realize that if you have to escape from reality, that maybe you should, fix reality first before you start watching football?
Don't you bring logic into this?
Oh yeah, I know. Don't heaven forbid I quote an ESPN caster.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. He had a good fucking dude. My brother was showing me this YouTube video of the guy saying it, but he goes in about it just being like, hey, y'all are just upset because of this, but none of y'all will say that. Y'all are saying it's because it disrespects the troops and blah blah blah. And they're like, it doesn't. It's actually a type of protest, and that's the one thing is like I've seen people bring up the whole disrespect thing, and I'm just like, as a veteran, I find it disrespectful for you to speak out for veterans when you don't fucking know what I fucking feel. I don't feel disrespected at all. In fact, I feel disrespected that people are saying that that they can't protest that way, and then it's like, no, they can, because I defended their right to kneel, and I'm okay with them kneeling. It's a type of political protest, and some people will be like, well, it's taken away from the actual issue. And I'm just like, no, it's not. The main issue is cops are shooting black people, and it needs to stop because they're shooting innocent black people. And some people are like, well, this is another one I get too online.
Yeah.
You're using that innocent word very loosely. And that's when I say, you're innocent until proven guilty by a jury of your peers. But these guys didn't make it to a jury of their peers because they got shot by a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason why people are all like, it's because that's like a disgusting part of the world that they don't want to see. And it's happening in their own backyard. But at the same time, what do Americans like to watch? Football. And they don't want to. Yeah, they want to face the reality of it. So, what's the best way to protest? To get all the Americans to see the protest? Football.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I had one person being like, "Well, is it working? How do we know it's working?" I'm like, "Well, are we having a dialogue right now? Are we talking about it?"
Okay, now there it gets a little fucking sketchy because it's like, okay, what conversation is being had?
Well, that's the thing is because what ends up happening is people against the protests will try to be like, say, there's a ton of different issues and stuff. And it's like, no. They're only protesting one issue. They're not protesting the president.
Mm-hmm.
They're not protesting soldiers, so don't even bring it up. They're not doing anything except for protesting that, innocent black people are getting shot.
And if you really think about it, the NFL does have rules against, say, wearing stickers and all this other stuff on the uniforms unless it's sanctioned by the league. So if you want to use that as a public forum in any way, shape, or form, you got to get creative with it. I mean,
exactly. And my favorite thing is that because like the thing is, people who are against the protest, how do you destroy the protest? By making the protest seem that they're just crazy mad people doing crazy mad things. But that's the thing is that it's not. Because they're all like, oh, look, they're disrespecting troops. They're against the president, this and that. And it's like, no, because the president's against it because he's like, oh, no, that's the American flag. That means they're against me. And it's like, no, dude, it has nothing to do with the American flag. It has nothing to do with that. It's just supposed to be a statement of the police. And a lot of people are like, well, it's the state police, not America. It's like you realize there's federal sanctions to states.
All right, we'll take it back to this, man. If you remember back in school, we've got a slight age difference between us, but I imagine this is not something that changes much. There was a good number of years where I completely disagreed with having to say the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning, and whenever that subject came up, they made it pretty clear. They were like, "Okay, just sit quietly at your desk."
Yeah,
they told us that in school, man.
Yeah, same here, and that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not mandatory. Because we live in a fucking America. If it was mandatory, we'd be in North Korea.
There is a great video of a hockey game in Toronto, I want to say. And, they play the national anthems before the games because it was an American team versus Canadians. And the sound system goes out before, in the middle, as the Star Spangled Banner starting up. And in in unison, the entire crowd of Canadians continue on with the song, sing it, and and everybody's watching this online, going, "Oh, that's a show of solidarity," and it's like. No. They have to listen to that before every one of their damn hockey games with an American team, and they wanted to get the goddamn game started. All right? Look beyond what it is. This show of respect and love between. Fuck you.
No, that's not like because people don't understand is like Canada, and America. They're kind of like brothers. All right. Canada and America are like brothers, and like Canada's more of like the younger brother to America. But this is the thing is they're looking at us right now and going, "Wow, that's dumb and retarded. Let's not do that." And that's what's going on is right now. It's like that's why you see a lot of times where it's just like, "Man, Canada's looking pretty good now."
Well, here's the thing, man. Every time Canada opens their fucking mouth, I'm like, go to LiveLeak and search what is it, RCPM. You know what I mean? The Mounties don't fuck around. They have killed people in their custody. They're not any worse or better. They just have a smaller population that for some reason culturally is a little
I'm not
less
talking
aggressive.
about crime, but I'm talking like politically.
Oh,
like
yeah.
how they run their government is really like holy shit. You know, like because they got they got rid of all the homelessness in one of their major cities.
Yeah.
And it was just by giving them houses, right? And guess what? They actually got better. They gave them housing, right? A place to live because they realized, yeah, you could spend all this money on outreach programs and shit every year, or you could just build them facilities to live in, right? If you're homeless, you go there, and then you can worry about getting a job, getting help with your drug addictions, getting the mental health that you need, because those are usually the three big things why you're homeless. And the only problem is when you're homeless, it's hard to take care of that thing. So why would you spend money on taking care of that shit when you could just spend that money to build them housing and then they get the treatment that they need? And that's what really was like. I was like, holy fuck, that's awesome. And we don't really do that. You know, a lot of places when you're homeless, you end up still having to pay to stay
at homeless shelter. All right, because we've had a brief conversation about this before, and
it's like $100 a month, pretty much.
Well, the perspective you had on it, where it's like, no, I don't give money to panhandlers.
You give it to the thing. Yeah. What I'm saying is, there you don't pay for the homeless shelter when you go there and you stay there.
Okay.
Like when I went, they gave me 2 years to live there to get back on my feet, and they were like, if you don't have a job, you don't have to pay anything yet. But once you get a job, it's $100 a month. And that was just because I was at the veteran homeless shelter.
Okay.
Now, let's say you go to Salvation Army. You get 3 free days.
Okay.
And then you have to pay, I think it's either $10 or $20 a night. And in lieu of paying, you could either work for the Salvation Army and do stuff for them.
Right.
Or you could, like, go out and just panhandle and get $10 to $20, and you can stay another night. But you see what I mean? It's still like you only get 3 free days, and then you still have to pay to stay. And then
so they're basically running a shitty hostel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem, man.
Well, then in Canada, it's just like, no, you come in, you fill out the paperwork, they start in processing you, and then you get to stay. You don't have to worry about paying. You know, they still got a time limit to get you on your feet. But
I will give this to Canada, regardless of how some of their programs did turn out, as far as their as the extent they went to with, say, the safety clinics, where it's like, hey, if you bring your heroin in, we'll, that kind of stuff. If you're bringing drugs in, we'll test them for purity. Apparently not the best solution, but it has saved lives. Maybe a step along the road, but the fact that they're willing to try some of this stuff, which was always my contention about, I guess, I'll vote for Bernie Sanders if he gets into the main election. Because it's like, look, first of all, I'm one of those cynical assholes that doesn't believe the president really has that much ability to affect change. I mean, regardless of some of the policies that are being implemented that people are going, oh, it's Trump's. It's like, no. The system that was already in place, they already wanted to do that.
Yeah, all this, and that's the thing is like the people don't understand that it takes like up to 2 years for something to happen in our government, and that's just like for minor shit. For big shit, it takes 5-6 years.
Yeah,
and that right there, that's after it's already gotten approved. Like, oh hey, yeah, we're doing this 6 years from now.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember where it was I came across the statement. and I still haven't gone and looked it up because I just kind of went that like it's one of those where you go, okay. But all right. Apparently, immigration numbers are down, or were down for the first part of this year. Like they've decreased.
Yeah.
Now you can argue, okay, maybe that's people going, oh shit, they're going to deport the fuck out of me. I better not go into the U.S. Or maybe it's this whole backlash against like, well, we'll do sanctuary cities and we won't enforce your federal. Maybe, but the numbers clearly, if that's the case, again, haven't looked at the numbers because it's just one of those things where I go, yeah, that seems like the way the world works. It's just counterintuitive all the way down. But what is actually happening on the ground is what I'm kind of concerned about, and that's why the shit you get on Facebook, social media, any platform, and you're just going, you people are screaming opinions. And I by all means, as an American, I back your right to have an opinion.
Yeah.
But do you have some numbers to back some of this stuff up? Is there actual things? Are there actions being taken by specific entities that you can go, oh, that's illegal, or that's against, say, what is your actual argument? I don't like things. Motherfucker, join the club.
Yeah, and that's one of the things was because there was one dude, he was yelling about the kneeling thing, and like his first statement was like, why do they have to protest in this manner? You know, kneeling down is disrespecting troops. And mind if I get this?
Oh, yeah, we'll pause.
Yeah, pause.
All right, so.
Yes. So there was a dude yelling about the whole kneeling thing and being like, it's disrespecting the troops and shit for people to get shot by this and that and blah, blah. And like, he kept changing his fucking reason about why he was arguing about it. And then like, there were times I was just like, just say this. Because I went through all the scenarios with him, and eventually I was just like, okay, so if that's the case, it sounds like you're just mad because they're doing it in the NFL, right before you were like, I just want to watch football as an escape. He goes, I don't watch football. And then it's like, why are you even saying anything then? You have no goddamn opinion. You're just yelling to yell.
You have no stake in this scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, as I said, I probably would have supported Bernie Sanders. So I do have a bit of a socialist leaning. So when I hear about, and granted, you can make all situational, subjective arguments as far as individuals, but for the most part, you're talking about millionaires that are about to play a game where they're going to risk concussions. I don't give a fuck about their opinion at all. At all. Oh, they're on national television? You know how many stupid fucking people are on national television? Now, if one of them... Now, granted, there have been statements that have come out from individual players where you go, no, you have a very reasoned argument, and I agree completely with what you're saying. I still don't give a fuck about your sport or what you do with your life.
Yeah. And not only that, but like, my favorite thing is when people are like, well, I agree with Trump. Those owners need to fire people. And at the same time, I'm just like, whew, the owners aren't doing that. First of all, because they're all businessmen.
Well, it's like I mentioned earlier. The NFL has already made changes to their government bylaws, whatever the fuck it is, their regulations, as far as what the players can and can't do on the field. If the league really gave a flying fuck, you're seeing this with the teams kneeling, the owners going out and kneeling with them. Okay, that's okay.
The owners
great.
kneeling with them is just to show Trump, like, hey, you can't bully us.
Oh, yeah, that was a bit of a fuck you. It's like, you can talk all the shit you want about these players, but don't you bring the league into this.
And the reason why there's more and more owners doing it, too, is just to show them that it's like, hey, so combined, we have a shit ton more money than you.
Oh, yeah, there's a bit of billionaire fuck you going on there.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those things where because that's the thing is, because the reason why Donald Trump has been so erratic is because he realizes that he can do what businessmen call bullying, where you bully your way in business to get what you want. And you're like, hey, if you don't fucking sign this contract, I'm coming for you. Just you wait.
And that's clearly a tactic he's familiar with if you know his business history.
And at the same time, fucking he does it to politicians all the time. And he just bullies his way. So he got used to bullying his way in the political game. So when he gets on stage, he's like, yeah, they need to fire him. They were like, you're trying to bully us? We're all businessmen here. We know exactly what you're trying to do. And together, we're a coalition that you can't stop. So, and we know this, man.
Somebody pointed it out very clearly a while back. It was like, it's clearly, all right, the office itself is given some sort of respect, but the person in there, it doesn't really. I'm all right, again going back to the Bernie Sanders thing. I would have liked to see him in there just because the tone of the conversation would have changed. It would have had nothing to do with the actual output, unless there was a will somewhere within, which there clearly are in some sectors of the government, to not only go to a more not just lean socialist, but there are clearly some sectors of I'm dancing around here. There are some politicians out there that would like to see our system of government changed completely, and I'm not jumping that far off the fucking cliff with them, but I'll ride up to the edge, take a peek over, and go, hey, is there maybe some greener pastures down below? But you're not gonna fucking herd me into some shit and make me run with you. Which unfortunately is when you get to that kind of change, you're talking about let's rah society up until we all want to make one motion, which is never going to happen, and that's the beautiful thing about our system of government.
Yeah, exactly. So again,
of course, then again, every time this country has rah-rahed, we've gained new lands, built the economy back up, and
I don't understand. Like, people realize America takes things, right? Like,
oh yeah, that's when you hear. I remember growing up, there was always this like, is America becoming an imperial power? It's like, we have overseas holdings, we don't treat them like citizens. Yeah, we're an imperial power. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we are. Same thing with fucking Britain, because the United Kingdoms is a thing. Like, there's a video online. It's like they have they do it like this box like chart thing, where it's like they box here, a box here, but they sometimes cross over. And then there's two other boxes here where it kind of leans here, but it's not quite there yet. And it's kind of leans there and not quite there. And they put all the countries that have that owe sovereignty to the crown.
The Commonwealth nations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so they have all of them in there and shit. And it's just like, this is actually the United Kingdoms. That's England, that's Wales, this is Great Britain, and, it's fucking ridiculous, because you're just like, oh, shit, that's a lot of stuff, but at the same time, if you do that with America, there's a lot of shit that we have. Like, because there was one time, America...
Well, dude, I would have loved to be in some of these conversations when fucking North Korea started talking about bombing Guam. It's like, why do we give a fuck about Guam? It's like, yeah, no, that's ours.
Yeah, that's ours. Guam's ours. So, Jesus Christ. I'm just going to send him a message. All right, there we go. Anyways, but yeah, man, it's pretty crazy because, like, we're pretty much an empire, pretty much, because there's territories and shit that we have, and we don't treat, because, like, there's actually some land that we have that has no population whatsoever, and it's a pretty funny story. So,
specific example here?
There's like an island. It's not really an island. It's literally like 2-inch strip of land in the middle of the ocean out near you know how we have Hawaii, Guam, and all that shit in the Pacific there.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the Pacific region and shit, because we have a ton of islands that are kind of like that, where it's just like, oh, it's like a rock or some shit. But basically, back in the day, we needed fertilizer to fertilize lands and stuff, and you know what was great for that? Bird poop.
I believe I've heard this story.
Yeah. So there was they started this something act of whatever, and it's still enacted today. If you go and you find an island, right?
Yeah.
And no one else has ever landed there or anything,
mm-hmm.
Whatever nation you fucking represent, that nation now owns that land. So we have a bunch of islands in the Pacific that are just like, because the thing is that they're like, yeah, so here's the thing about those islands. There's no bird poop on them. So we own all this. Like, the reason for that act was for bird poop, but at the same time,
no bird poop.
No bird poop. But we own land out in the ocean, and there's no, like, and it's crazy too, because people are just like, what, why are we in, you can't even use it for a base or anything, but we still hold land. Like, they were like, no, that's ours.
Well, as China has proved, if you have the will, an island can be built.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. In fact, the day I saw this soccer field built out in the ocean. Yeah, fucking soccer field in the ocean.
Is this something in Dubai?
I'm not sure.
Huh?
It might, but it was fucking dope. You know, just fucking people played soccer, and they're like on a because like the thing doesn't move at all, even though the water is like the field itself doesn't, but it's like on a floating boat thing, and it's like fucking weird, man. But
Oh, they were on a barge. I thought you meant like somebody had gone out and built up like a.
Oh no.
It
was like a barge thing, but there was like a it's permanently docked and shit, but it's just for the soccer field. It's like a soccer stadium thing for that team.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, man. And then
that's always the kind of argument we were talking earlier about. All right, I was joking earlier about the coastal areas flooding, but
yeah.
Especially having lived in Houston for 8 years and seeing how shit that place can get during a storm. And they're going, no, we need to build up the levees, and they're not spending enough money on this. It's like, okay, you live in a swamp, build something that floats. I mean, yes, it's a horrible situation, only happens every once in a while, but when it does happen, it will fuck you.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. Okay, there we go. Deal with that. Sweet. Okay, so what are you doing tonight, man? You gonna go to the open mic?
Yeah, I completely forgot LOL was tonight, but to be honest, I've been busy doing the podcast and whatnot. Haven't been minding the craft as much as I want to, which means I have as you said, the little outbursts of just going fuck goddamn and just spitting shit out that should be put down on paper and not.
Yeah, that happened to me today actually. I literally because my brother called me talking about the landlord wanted the money and shit. I was just like yeah, and I was just getting pissed off for no reason, and there were times I was just like yeah, and just yelled and. Like I do that a lot whenever I haven't done comedy in a minute. Because I didn't go out last night and do any comedy because one, I was broke. Two, I knew I was gonna have to pay the landlord. Hence why I'm broke. And like
that all makes sense, man. It's a chain of events.
Yeah, and I was just like, yeah. I even was like, look, I need a host because I'm busy. I was like, I'm not busy. I watched American fucking Vandal and ate fucking. Like beer brats and shit, and I was just like, nope, I'm staying in today, guys. Sorry, I'm broke as shit. So, because I didn't want to go out, because then it's just like, oh, I gotta spend money on booze, and then I gotta run the mic too, and this and that. Like, I don't know, man. Anytime I've noticed something, anytime I go, hang on, because I've quit smoking before, and I've quit drinking before.
How'd that work out?
It was pretty good, and then because I did it when. Because I quit everything to get clean from meth, and I quit drinking and stuff. I still smoked weed, that helps out a lot. So, but I quit smoking cigarettes, stopped drinking beer, and I wasn't doing stand-up comedy either because I was like, I need to focus on just staying clean and getting back to being normal.
Right. It's yeah. It's a
And
lifestyle that does encourage a bit of excess.
So next thing you know, I fucking what do you call it? I get back because like I felt healthier, like and I was glad I quit smoking, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep that going, and I was like, I might have a beer or two now that everything's good.
Yeah.
And then I went and did comedy again. Fucking start picking up smoking again, drinking heavily. Woo, let's go. And that's one thing I was just like, fuck, man, it's hard, it's difficult sometimes, and because you're just like you're standing around, you're getting anxious because you're waiting to go up on stage. So then you start smoking cigarettes. Then you're like, maybe I'll have a beer to calm myself down. And then next thing you know, you're back into the same goddamn lifestyle again. And it's just like, fuck. Well, I'm a smoker and a drinker again.
While I will not completely abandon the idea that there is a way to do this, is clearly exampled by a few individuals to do this in a clean and sober way. I've just kind of acknowledged that during the day I'm gonna have to live as clean as possible because this shit's gonna get raunchy.
Yeah, I know, right? Where it's just like, oh man, but I don't know, man. I can't do it. Can't.
You're a young man, Jacob. You have time.
No, I'm saying I can't keep drinking like I am.
Well, hey, you're not. Well, as far as I know, that's water in your cup.
Yeah, I know, but I started the day off with a beer. Probably not the best thing to start with.
If you're having a breakfast beer, you going for a Pilsner, a lager?
It was a Shiner Bock.
Oh, it's not bad, not bad. There's a little bit of calorie content to that. Something to feed a growing body.
Yeah, because I made me like a breakfast sandwich. I fried a slice of ham, fried an egg, cheese, and toast to make it a little breakfast.
No, I'm with you the whole way. I'm assuming lots of butter on all of this.
Oh yeah, and then I had a Shiner Bock with it, and then like dude, and that's the thing is like two of my hobbies are comic book stories and fucking cook. And what I did was last night got like a red potato and a yellow onion, cut it up, like diced it up and shit, put it in a pan, fried it, and then like after that I put that to the side, make the beer brat sausage.
Right.
Or I just brown it all around.
You a fan of sautéed cabbage with your sausage?
Oh man, a cabbage. I love cabbage. Actually, I usually do like a cabbage, bacon kind of.
I get you.
Yeah. Like mix thing. But I took the beer brats once it was brown, cut them up, and I put them in there with the potato and onions.
Right on.
And I poured like half a cup of beer of Shiner Bock in there, and it was just like cooked it up like that. And oh my god, it was so good, but it made me so gassy, dude. Like I was over at Zombies just farting and ripping it up. It's just people were like, "Oh god, what the fuck? It smells like death." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my asshole."
Oh shit! Who's in for a rim job?
I know, right? Oh man, I'm gonna go grab those burritos I just microwaved.
Okay, I do not remember what we were talking about. I'm sure we had gone off. Oh, we were talking about brats and gassy farting.
Oh yeah. That's right. It was pretty rancid, man. It was really rancid. Even the owner was like, "Jesus Christ!"
Oh man, tax you for that one. We're charging you $3 for the pints.
Yeah, I know, right? Like $3 for those pints now. No, but it's Ziegenbach. So I don't think the Ziegenbach helped the whole situation either. So
again, that was part of the whole figuring out I had to get healthy thing, man. Because like you get around some of comics, man, and it's like, what do you do to yourself during the day? Because this is. This should be against. I'm pretty sure part of this is against the Geneva Convention. This counts as biological warfare.
Not only that, but there's some people that will be like, "Well, this is a lifestyle, and I'm doing this all the time." And then you're like, "Ooh, dude, like the comic lifestyle where there's like, yeah, I drink and smoke cigarettes, drugs all day, every day." And
I'm
like,
Bukowski, motherfucker.
Yeah, and then at the same time, I'm like, dude, you don't understand. There's gonna be one day you're gonna hit a wall, and you have to make a decision: druggie or a person. And you're just gonna be like, "Fuck, man!" And you look back and be like, "Man, Jake was right about this." And the reason why is because I've been there, done that. And it's god awful once you hit that wall because you look back at your life and you go, "Fuck, can't believe I did a lot of that shit." And like fucking one of the worst ones being like, "Oh, dude, we said some really dumb shit." Like we were like, there was this time me and my buddy were on a rooftop and we were all like high on meth and we were just like, "Yeah, we're gonna run this city." And then, like, thinking back about it, I was like, no one really wants to run things, really. You really look at it, like, no one really wants to be the mayor of San Antonio. They're just like, fuck, I thought this was going to be an awesome job, but then now I realize there's a lot of work to be done. You know, like, no one's going to be like a meth head being like, I can do this job, and takes the job, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, fuck. I just thought I was going to be in charge of people, but really there's a lot of work I got to do myself. I just want to do meth. You know, like,
oh shit! What was the fat crackhead in Toronto?
God, yeah,
beautiful human being, dead as fuck, but beautiful human being.
Beautiful.
Oh, have you seen? There's are you familiar with the comic Tom Segura?
Yes.
Does a great little short called The Mayor, and he's just spoofing on that. It's beautiful when you get a chance to see it.
Oh,
but,
dude, I might need to look it up. Yeah, Tom Segura is like one of my faves.
Yeah, interesting guy, man. I'm actually a fan of his wife, Christina Pajitsky. She's got a psychology philosophy podcast that's interesting. It's one of those where you go, I have these problems. Not the pregnancy and the motherhood bit, but all the rest of it. Yeah, that's just human shit. Well, shit, man. You're a social media type. What? Yeah. You pointed at me like you had a point to make.
No, you said you are, and I was like, yes.
A human being, yes. Now, I recognize you, Jake.
Yeah, thank you.
I acknowledge your existence.
But yeah, social media, yeah.
Yeah, man. What do you want to give out your tags and whatnot?
Oh, yeah. Just look up Jake Yarbrough on Facebook and like the page. It's a comedy page. I try to post up on there about all my upcoming dates and everything. Any shows I'm going to be doing, any type of projects I'm working on, comedy related. On Twitter, I'm at Funky Jake. Or is it Jake Funky? I think it's Funky Jake, yeah. It's funky
sounds
joy.
right.
Yeah, and then yeah, that I'm on Snapchat, but I'm not gonna give that out, because that's just I don't
for the
even.
raunchiness.
Well, not only that, but I don't even really use it even for that. It's on my phone, and if you ever look at anything I post up on Snapchat, it's just pictures of my cat.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people are just like, you don't know how to use Snapchat correctly. You just keep uploading things of your cat. And I was like, well, isn't that what it's for? Like, am I supposed to be doing something else with it? And they're like, yeah, you're supposed to be getting bitches. And it's just like, how do you fucking meet people on Snapchat? Like, you have to have people add you and shit. Like, you have to already know them, Yeah. They already got an app for that. It's called Tinder.
Yeah, there does come at one point, I think about a few years ago, there was that impression you had to be on every single platform, and now it's like, no, what are you good at? I know people that make Instagram work for them.
Yeah. I have Instagram. I don't really use it either.
Right.
Yeah, and none of that, but it's pretty much tied to Facebook anyways. So it's like, well, I'll just post things up on Facebook. Like, I don't understand that shit where it's just like there's so many social media things, and it's just like, okay, so if Facebook already does it, why do I need to use this one? And they're like, no, this is the one all the hip kids are on. I'm like, okay. So I'm gonna be 30 soon, Like, I don't give a fuck.
Honestly, I think it's just the way that the users are, the way they use the platform. Twitter, you scroll through it real quick, just looking for something that looks interesting. Facebook, yeah. I don't know what the fuck people use Facebook for anymore. It's just an aggregator for the shit that it's like, oh, hey, by the way, here's some stuff.
Yeah, it really it's just like, oh, hey, it keeps you connected with everybody, blah blah, all this dumb bullshit. But for me, all I use it for is just like, come to my shows. Hello.
I have found Messenger to be useful on a couple of occasions. For example, I called you on Messenger when I got over here.
Right.
And that's about it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a good idea. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm on, and I think not, actually.
No, you already mentioned the show in Laredo, and you got one coming up here at Mars Pizza, right?
Yeah. The Laredo show is October 5th, where it's going to be me, Josh Kabaz, and Anthony Chavarria, and Mars Pizza, which is October 15th. If my family actually might show up for that one.
Ooh, fun.
Yes, so a lot more jokes about my grandmother working in a sex toy shop and some other things. Yep.
All right, Jacob, great to have you, brother.
Thank you, man.
Jacob Yarbrough, folks. You can find Jacob online at Jake Yarbrough on Facebook and Funky Jake on Twitter. I hope you enjoyed those tales of excess and self-exploration. Think of it as a little acknowledgement of the chaos of the existence we all abide in. I'd like to muse a bit, if you would allow. As I said, I'm recording this on Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017. Yesterday was a bit of a hectic one, y'all. And I'm sure it's going to keep spilling on down through the week. Had a mass shooting in Las Vegas. Guy took an automatic rifle, or 10, up into a suite, fired down onto a concert. 58 people dead. No jokes about that one, y'all. I was thinking about that, along with some of the things that we talked about in this podcast. If I can paraphrase Socrates for a second, all I know is that I know nothing. All we can really do is observe, see what those around us do, try to act in a way that is both beneficial for ourselves and those that we love and we care about, the society in which we live in. And if we're honest about it, that's probably the order that most of us take our considerations into. Is my skin okay? Is the skin that I like okay? Is the place in which all that skin resides going to be okay? And it's always up in the air. Sometimes more than others, sometimes in different ways, sometimes in ways that are immediate to us, and some in ways that we won't see bear fruition in our lifetime. The initial urge when something happens is just come out and say what it is that's just that gut feeling. Whatever the first thing that comes to mind, examine that and then put it out into the world. And I think a lot of times we come up wanting. There's not enough information. We haven't really given consideration to the factors that are involved in any given situation. If we stop for a second to consider the way that the news cycle comes at us, the media that we consume, and try in some way to make sense of the world with, I don't know if we do ourselves any favors. How far into any given topic do you get your mind into before it stops being about the initial topic and just starts being some soundboard, scapegoat, staking post. The analogies go on. And there's always the urge to form teams and, I don't know, claim the philosophical point as your own battleground to fight over. Philosophy doesn't really help in these situations. Hopefully it helps the individual to deal and contemplate with whatever it is that they're given. But when it comes time, their thoughts, the words, the actions that are taken by people, how much prep work goes into that? I don't know. How does one prepare oneself to wake up and be given news? And be given the ultimatum to either join a discussion or to abstain and let it play out around you? I would be the first to admit I'm no one's voice of reason. I lay claim to no truths except for the ones that work for myself. And even those I just have a tenuous grasp on. I wish I knew more. I wish I was a smarter person. I'd like to be better informed. I'd like to be able to say something that adds at least a coherent thought to the dialogue, or at least something that might offer a solace to anyone that might need it. I don't think it's some sort of savior complex. I think it's just the instinct to mind the tribe, make sure everybody's, I don't know, not happy. I think that might be a stretch. Maybe just capable of being comfortable with where they are and what's happening to them. And I'm not just talking about the events of Sunday night, but just any situation that we're asked to deal with, either collectively or as individuals. Some assurance and steadiness of the self. I think that's all we have to offer each other at some point. Should I start to stumble, I'd like there to be someone next to me I can bump into and steady myself and return the favor when I can. And I'm standing here with all that going on in my head. Crickets chirping in the bushes, fresh dew on the grass, sun slowly making its way up over the horizon, greeting the day as it were. And for the fucking life of me, I can't remember more than 2 lyrics to any Tom Petty song. And of course, as I said that, the entirety of Saving Grace pops into my head. Passing sleeping cities, fading by degrees, not believing all I see to be so. And I may have butchered that. Well, the day is young, the coffee's warm, I gotta edit this and get it up. Well, don't have to, but I'm going to. If you made it this far, folks, thanks. I'm glad you let me get that off my chest. And now it's stuck in your head. You're welcome. I kid, my friends, and that's all we can do. Survival mechanism. We are all the character and the writer, and if you don't put a little bit of humor into it, the whole thing gets a bit stale and repetitive. So I say to you and to myself, run, read, be amongst what you wish to be amongst, do the things you wish to do, and fold the world in a way that creates, if not shelter, at least a warm spot you can steady yourself in for a while. Love them all, and when you do hate them, let it be a temporary thing. Fortify the mind, the body, and the spirit. Move forward with a confidence, or at least just keep moving forward. You may fall on your face, but at least you're a few inches farther down the line. And that, my friends, is all that life asks of you, really. At any point, go ahead and examine the question one more time. Move it on farther down the line. Move the genes, move the dreams, and all the little spaces in between. Doesn't matter if you fill them creatively or haphazardly. The current will move us all. Enjoy the day for what it is, and enjoy your life however you goddamn feel like. Take it easy and try to give a little back sometime, y'all. Peace.